How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the weekly InSalt. My name is Wade. You guys should hopefully know that. I'm
Hi,
here
Wade.
with Laura.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You always jump the gun on the.
I know I do. Top of the morning.
It's kind of like you have to do it now.
Top of the morning.
Here with
Wade.
Ches.
Hello.
And I don't have a title ready.
That's
for
all right.
Kurt today.
It's just Kurt today.
Sound guy Kurt.
Sound guy Kurt.
Yeah. And then on the show today as our guest is, I'm so excited for this because you're a plumber. It's Zach Burton from Bumble Bee Plumbing.
Yes.
Definitely didn't stumble over that at all. Thank you for being here, man. Taking time out of your Sunday. Today is also St. Patrick's Day, so I'm sure a lot of you will hopefully be over your hangovers by the time you hear this on Wednesday. If you're not over your hangover by Wednesday, you probably should go see somebody about that.
Yeah.
Don't drink too much. Drink responsibly. Zach, thanks for being here. I got to start off like from the top. What got you started being a plumber?
Oh man, life did. I guess it was the cards I was dealt. Pretty much, my dad was a plumber, so I grew up in it. You know.
Yeah.
From the get go.
Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I love it.
See, that's awesome.
Yeah.
God bless people like you, dude, because I'm sure you deal with things that we probably don't want to hear about, but things that most people couldn't deal with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's safe to say for sure.
So how long have you had your own business doing that?
I started in 2019.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So
2019.
Yeah, so not too long ago, but long enough.
Yeah, it's gone by fast for sure.
Yeah.
But it also feels like a really long time.
I'm sure that you keep learning on every job too, which probably is helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
I'm going to guess that we're going to be talking a lot about poop.
Oh,
she
yeah.
wants to jump right into
You want
it.
to jump right into the
Why
poop
not?
talk?
Let's just get it over with.
If we start now, there's still a ton of
that's
time
early
left.
on.
Yeah, I mean, it might be
I feel
the.
like we need to build some rapport before you cross that line.
Okay,
with-
all
I would say,
right.
you don't want to start at the top. You got to start at the bottom to work up.
You don't just hire a plumber and then instantly ask him about the poop.
It would not be my job of choice.
Yeah, true.
Okay, I'll start off with an easy one.
All right.
How often do you get called out for a job and it's just the chains falling off the lever?
Oh man. Well, like
Or something,
something in the neighborhood
Yeah.
Daily.
multiple times a day. Yeah. But you just take it as, I think it's just the mindset you gotta have about that, right?
You're still getting paid.
You're meeting people. You're
All
like,
pays the same.
I've always thought, how do you like working in a house in somebody else's living conditions as a plumber? You have to probably handle that a particular way. Do you ever have clients that just watch over your shoulder the whole time?
Yeah,
How do you deal with that?
all the time. When I was younger, it bothered me a lot. Yeah, for sure. Nowadays, I kind of like it.
Yeah.
If the intention's right,
Well, I like to do it because I find it fascinating.
Watching other people work?
Well, watching them, do their trade, I mean,
Yeah.
something I'm not able to do.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So, to me, it's like, oh, this is fascinating work.
Yeah, and I think, and that's just the thing, everyone has that angle on it. There's a different angle for every person that's watching over your shoulder, and depending on what that angle is, it's either going to be enjoyable or not.
Yeah.
But if it's someone watching with a critical eye, or looking for an I gotcha game to play with you, that's always uncomfortable, and you just have to kind of bear and grin and handle it, and just.
Have you
a
ever
good
had
attitude about
somebody
it,
that's been like, "Hey, you didn't tighten that"?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Are you
And
sure
that-
you're
and-
hooking that up to the right place?
Yeah, that we get that one a lot.
bet.
The quintessential old man looking out the window of the cruise ship, watching the guys tie off the harbor.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good metaphor for that too.
What the hell
Did
else
they
do you
tie
gonna
it?
do on a cruise ship?
Drink.
Yeah.
So what's
But like
what's
the people that are just kind of like-minded and they're like interested by it, like I have fun with that
yeah.
because it's like usually that person's a cool person and you're just hanging out with him at his place and maybe it's a nice house and a nice vibe, and you're like, man, what a day. This is just. I was talking to the guy last night at the brewery, like he's like, do you like plumbing? I'm like, I love it, man.
Yeah.
Because he was talking about how his new business model he likes so much is because it's just doing what he would do if he had the weekend off kind of thing, which is wake surfing.
Yeah.
And he started this whole rental company thing, and he's like, I just want to make money while I'm just living. And I'm like, yeah, I feel like I'm doing that with plumbing.
Yeah.
I get hanging out with my team, and they're all cool people. I get a hand pick. Like, I like you a lot out of all these 30 other people I talk to. You're the one I want to hang out with, And I look at it that way with everyone I hire. And so it's like I get to hang out with friends, and then I'm meeting all these different people, and It's just like any day, you're going to run into dickheads.
Yeah.
You know, and they're going to ruin your vibe for a minute, but...
I'm more of the, just let me know when you're done and if you need anything and how much I owe you.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to tip you really good.
I love you. See, I love your kind of customers. You're great. Yeah. Call me anytime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's get that out of the way at the beginning of the show, because I know sometimes people don't listen to the whole episode. How do people?
That's customary to tip your plumber.
I tip everybody.
Yeah, definitely call us.
Why wouldn't you tip?
I don't know.
I tip
We had
my
the whole
movers,
conversation
I tip my plumber,
about
I tip
tipping.
my electrician.
Do you tip McDonald's?
No.
See, okay.
Wow.
There's a line there.
Wow.
Do you?
I'm not judging. No. Why would you ask?
Oh, okay.
How do people get in touch with you if they need a plumber?
They can go to info@bumblebeeplumbers.com. They can get us on social. They can call 385-205-1833.
And I'm sure you guys do emergency things too.
Yeah, we do emergency.
Okay.
Yeah, 24/7.
Is there emergency fee with that, of course? Like if it's off hours?
Yeah, but it depends. You know what I mean? Depends on I would say yes, there is, but and there is a standard price. Right. But, if some old lady is like flooding her house or something and she's like, I don't got, $70 for you to come out. It's like, cool, don't worry about it. We'll be there. Like, we'll take care of it.
Yeah. So that tells me right there that you enjoy what you do, because this poor old lady, flooding her house, will be out there because it's not going to get any better till we come out there.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just, it's just good business practice.
Mm-hmm. It is. Word of mouth.
Yeah, word of mouth, I'm not going to step over dollars to pick up dimes,
Mm-hmm. Oh, I like that saying.
But then there's the people that take advantage of it, though.
Oh, yeah.
You can spot those people pretty quick, though, I'm sure.
We get 3 or 4 of them a day,
Yeah. Like, hey, the estimate seems a little high. I had my buddy come out here, and he said it would only be like one trip to Home Depot.
Well, then have your buddy do it.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you get people nowadays like... a lot of the lead generating platforms, like the working social platforms where people like can go and find, I don't want to, sponsor them or say their name, but you know who they are. But yeah, those, wait, what was I saying about those? See,
you were talking about lead generating platforms and customers that like try to take advantage of that.
Yeah. So you'll get a lot of customers on there that'll come and find you and they'll just want to like figure out how to do it themselves.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was going to be one of my questions.
We get that a lot, yeah.
How many people that contact you and they're just for information, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've done it.
So have I. Yeah, we all have, right?
I mean, like I got an estimate on rain gutters. I think, did I mention that on last episode? I don't know. It was a company that's very well established and they work on really big jobs. It was definitely a company that doesn't fit the need for my particular job. They offer a really huge warranty, which, I mean, my house doesn't have a 10-year warranty. I don't need the rain gutters with the 10-year warranty. But they definitely charged an appropriate price, but I learned things from their estimate. Like things that needed to be replaced.
And that's what I did because I did my own water heater. But I did call around. I did shop around for plumbers to come do it. Yeah. And the reason why I did it myself was because of the price.
Yeah, right.
And so let me ask you, what do you charge if I needed my water heater replaced? What would be the average price?
First of all, he's going to sell you on a tankless water heater.
Yeah, I'm just thinking what I want to sell you before I...
Go
has
tankless.
The biggest spread?
I can't afford that.
Yeah. So that would depend on what the water heater has, right? Mm-hmm. And what it needs done. And...
So
if there's venting, but the range would be like 2,000 to 3,400 at max.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then I got
if it's
really
a basic
good deal
swap,
on my
you're like
tankless.
2,100. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also like
and there's
you
like you can go on Facebook Marketplace and find a guy that like maybe it's like one guy in a truck. We call them trucks in a truck.
Yeah, that's good.
And those guys don't have much overhead, right? And they don't have operating expenses. They don't have any of it. They just have a van and insurance. And you can get a guy to do that for $1,800 because, like, he can clear $800 minus taxes and some fuel. That's a huge payout. That's a bigger payout than what my company would get at a $3,000
right?
charge.
Yeah.
Right. But we offer warranty, and we also can like fix anything in your house that could ever possibly happen.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, license
and that kind of infrastructure to be able to have that capability has huge churn rate monthly.
Yeah, and I understand the risks of doing it myself.
Yeah,
because I don't have a warranty. If that thing dies, I'm just going to have to do it again.
What were you saying about the gutter guy and the warranty?
It was like too much of a warranty for the job that I needed done. You know what I mean? I have an older house built in the 70s. The rain gutters definitely need to be redone, but I don't really feel like I need to pay. The estimate they gave me was a little over $5,000 for 100 feet of rain gutter with downspouts. And of course, that's one thing that he told me is when you estimate
for 100 feet of rain gutter,
100 feet of rain gutter, but it's seamless rain gutter, and they do a really great job on the details. But that seems like over the top for the type of job that needs to be done. But they work on these $1 million homes that have like copper rain gutters, that if I had that house, the 10-year warranty sounds great, but I'm like, I kind of just need the guy that's going to give me like a 5-year warranty and then figure it out from there. I think that they came in a lot higher than I even expected, I think was my issue.
That is expensive. I replaced my hot water heater with a tankless for $5,200.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that's about what we are.
Yeah.
Did they charge you separately for the warranty? Did the warranty have a price that was like this much for this warranty?
No. I think it was all built in. It was. I found them at the Home and Garden Expo, so I just went there and I was like, I need rain gutters. That was like my first stop for estimates. I didn't end up using them. I still have shitty rain gutters because this was about a week ago, but. I kind of expected them to come out, and they were a well-established company, local to Utah. They've won Best in State for installation of rain gutters and stuff, and they're a whole exterior company for aluminum siding too, and that type of thing. But they had an iPad with a whole presentation on it to tell you why they're the best at what they do, and it was, they've got good ratings everywhere. They've got all that stuff, so I think you're paying for the extra stuff they add in. They said, we'll send a project manager out here after things are done to inspect it all. If anything's wrong, we'll come back and fix it. So that's all overhead costs to them. So you're going to pay a little bit more. But
yeah.
And I think at some point you do get what you pay for. There's like that middle ground, right? If you're too cheap, you get what you pay for. If it's too expensive, maybe you're not getting what you pay for. You got to find that as a consumer, which is hard to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
But already I like your approach to things. It's like, we'll just come out and see what needs to be done. And a lot of plumbing companies, one in particular that charges me a monthly fee to be a premium member,
for service.
That I never really used it that much. I mean, they came out and serviced my air conditioner to tell me that I needed a new one. I'm like, okay, that's really not why I pay you $10 a month. But it sounds like you're just genuinely out there because you love it and you want to help people. Of course, you need to take care of your costs too.
The same company came out to tune up my AC.
Yeah, how'd they do?
And all they did was just check some boxes on a clipboard and then quote me $400 to suck the leaves out of the compressor.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear you say that, honestly, because I've been thinking this has been something that's been like front of mind for me for the last month and developing my business further in the next quarter. And I've been looking at that model of the membership fee and the membership itself, and I just don't think it lands well with people. And like hearing you say that kind of confirms that for me, because I don't know if I've really, over the last 20 years, in the last 15 years, the memberships got popular. I don't know if, other than, there's a percentage of the demographic that enjoy it, and that's a product fit for them. Product market fit for them.
I use them.
Yeah, yeah, and you don't have a problem with the membership at all.
I don't because it's stuff that I don't want to do.
Exactly.
And, and they do a professional job. They're the ones that saved my ass on the water heater because it was getting ready to explode.
And we're also talking under the assumption that every tech that comes out is a great tech. You know what I mean? There are people that come out who want to do the bare minimum, or they just whatever. I'm just have this job until I can move on to something else. And you're not going to get the same service out of them as somebody like yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not to say that it's not like it definitely has its marketplace, but I'm just speaking to the experience that I've had in the past. Is I would say the majority of people that I ask have that kind of response of like, they just came and checked some clipboards and looked at my water heater and flushed it maybe or whatever. You get perks of having like a free drain clean once a year, or free camera inspection, or most people give like 10% off, 5 to 10% off, and like priority scheduling, stuff like that. But I'm kind of undecided on it. I'm trying to find a different unique edge that's more valuable, like actually valuable. And I've been looking at different ways of like warrantying work, because most companies, to be honest, most other than maybe the really big players that we all can think of probably, they just say, yeah, we give you a 2-year warranty on our work or whatever, right? But really that's just like for a large majority, I would dare say, it's really just a bluff.
Yeah.
In a way. Because you don't actually have any warranty. Like, all you have is your word and some paper you made on Canva. You had your assistant write up and say, yeah, print these off and give them to people and tell them that's our warranty. But you don't really have anything to back it up other than what liquidity you have in the business at any given time that some catastrophe happens and you flood someone's house. Yeah, your insurance can pay for it, but it's like the work to go back and, say, rip out some plumbing an apprentice messed up or something, right? That just comes out of your pocket as a business owner. So it's just this like this rogue risk that could happen any time. And like, I want to develop something more substantial, where like I started an actual like warranty business, and like funds are distributed to that business, right?
Yeah.
And I can build a crew of people, and that's all they do. They don't do plumbing for me. They do warranty work, right? And maybe I can like lease that out while it's not, but when it happens to the Bumble Bee, then I can actually protect myself and actually give like a real solid, like, hey man, this warranty is going to cost you money, but it's actually real.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying it.
Like when you buy a house and you buy a home warranty.
Or you buy a car and you buy a warranty.
Yeah, that's a really interesting
You paid
concept.
like $2,500 and you're like, man, I don't want to pay $2,500, but it would be nice if the transmission goes out.
Because, I mean, as a business's warranty program, let's say you offer a 2-year warranty like you're saying, and something goes catastrophic, you just claim insurance, right? Your business could say,
Unless
this is why we have insurance.
Defect.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then the manufacturer probably uses insurance.
And you don't want, you want to avoid making a claim, just like anything in life, right? As a business owner. And so it's like a lot of us just end up paying for it out of our pocket, because we don't want to make the claims. So we're like, oh my gosh, okay.
Because the rates will go up, right?
Right.
Then you get more overhead, which you got to make that money up from somewhere, which a lot of times goes through the services to the customer. It just puts
you behind track on your goals, and like, just kind of becomes a speed bump.
Dude, that's awesome that we just had that conversation, because I never have thought about warranties in depth. And everybody offers a warranty, right? This is why I love the podcast, because
everyone's like, "What's your warranty?" And most plumbers do. I'm telling you, plumbers they'll be like 2-year, 3-year, whatever. They'll be like whatever, because they know they'll come fix it.
Yeah,
right.
They're like, I don't care if it happens, I got it.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a 10-year warranty.
Especially if you did the work, because you know that you did the work. You know how you do things, and you're like, I'll come back out, and if like there's a leak in a pipe, oh, no problem, I can fix it in 10 minutes, and I don't even need money for that.
Yeah. You don't miss anything when you plumb. There's no what's the word I'm looking for? Tolerance, zero tolerance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
once you turn the water on, I mean, you find out real quick if there's anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting, because it just changed that conversation we just had changed my perspective on when you're at like a checkout counter and somebody says, do you want the extended warranty with that?
No.
Oh, love it.
I love that too, because I never do that. And,
I don't either.
And I always just think it was like the status quo to call it a scam. If you go to Best Buy and you buy a TV, they're like, you want the warranty on that? No, you're just scamming me out of money.
Well,
sure, it does come in handy.
Depends on how many moving parts there are.
I mean, in this day and age, even though computers don't move the parts aren't moving, they still break a lot.
Oh, sure.
I got it on my truck. I got
it on my new Jeep, too.
Yeah, you get it. You usually get it on new vehicles, or anything from Harbor Freight.
But I have a hard time spending $15 for the extended warranty when the part only cost me $18.
Yeah. Because, there was a moment there where warranties were so popular, you could, like, anything you could warranty. Like, you go to Home Depot, you buy a screw, they're like, you want the warranty on that? You're like, what? Yeah. Did you change the way you make it and now you need a warranty?
Yeah, should I be worried?
Yeah.
The only reason I'm buying this at Harbor Freight is because it's something I'm probably going to need it once or twice. And if I need it a third time,
just go buy it again.
Although they do have some higher end stuff now, though. But
yeah.
No, they don't.
I don't know if I'd buy it like an air compressor from Harbor Freight or anything, but
I'd go anything at Harbor Freight. I'm a fanboy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I haven't really shopped there much, though. I think that's kind of like social influence thing where people say Harbor Freight is just shit. Don't buy anything from them.
We have all Milwaukee in all of our fleet vehicles, but I have a grinder and a jackhammer that I think's got to be stretching 16 years now.
Yeah.
And this jackhammer, we had this gnarly ADU build we did in Bountiful.
What is ADU?
Accessory dwelling unit. Like put a teeny house in your backyard. Okay. And then we'd run the plumbing to the house and like drill to the foundation.
Like a mother-in-law.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But anyway, I had this jackhammer. Middle of January, multiple feet of snow, and it got left out there all winter long, buried under snow. And then downpour rains for all the springtime, half the summer baked in the sun. Went back. We still use it today, 2 years later.
Wow.
That's a good tool right there.
Yeah, the guy's like, there's no way that's going to work. I was like, you want to bet? And I was kind of bluffing. I thought it was going to work for sure.
Yeah.
But I was like, whatever, watch this. Harbor Freight's the best. And plug it in, and it just fired right up. And I was acting like I wasn't surprised. I'm like, yeah,
I told you
so.
How big is your plumbing business?
It's teeny, man. We only have like 3 trucks right now.
Okay, but still more than one.
It's great. Yeah. I love it. I feel like, it's like the beginning of a new relationship. I'm gonna look back on this time in my life, and it's just gonna be so awesome.
So you're still in the honeymoon phase.
I'm in the honeymoon phase with Bumble Bee for sure.
But I mean that is like progress,
Yeah.
Just starting from. I assume that you just started from yourself, and then as you get too busy, it's like shit. I might need another truck.
Mm-hmm.
I might need another guy to go out there.
Yeah.
And I mean, talk about that a little bit. It's hard probably to find people that have the same thought process as you, the same enthusiasm for plumbing that you do, that you would allow to work under your name, right?
Yeah.
So how'd you come up with Bumble Bee? Meaning behind it?
No meaning at all.
Meaning at all?
No,
okay.
I just loved it. I just loved the name, and I was like all about bees at the time. I had like this really nice section of land in my house, and this house I rented out for a while, and I built this terrace thing and like brought in all these native species plants from Utah and made it all low water consumption. Really geeked out on it. Turned out beautiful. But then I had all these bees showing up, and it just like set me on this like beekeeping.
Are you a beekeeper too?
No, I never got that far.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I wanted to do it. And
I was
never
so
done
close.
It.
Yeah, I was so close, and then I ended up going to Australia, and then I came back and I wanted to get that beehive thing you've seen on Instagram where like it's like the auto beehive.
Yep.
You're shaking your head.
Yep,
You've
I've
seen it.
It's
I wanted to get that so bad.
It's super
all the
modern
beekeepers
design.
are shaking their head right now. These
God. It's super modern design, and the idea was that you just buy this hive. And I remember thinking it was cool too, and looking at the price and being like, not that cool.
Yeah,
But
does it come with the warranty?
Yeah, probably
does. It come with the bees?
I don't think it came with the bees, or maybe it did.
Is that the one you pull the little lever and then the honey comes out?
Yeah, you basically don't have to take the
Really?
trays out or anything. Because let's be honest, the thing that I think most people would hate about beekeeping is the fact that you can get stung by a bee. Like that's honeybees are notoriously gentle, though, and people don't understand that. But if you piss them off, you're going to get stung. And I think people don't like that. So this was an attempt. This company created an attempt to make a hive that you never have to like maintain. Really,
You don't have to interact with the bees?
yeah. You just like open this valve and honey just pours out. And they, of course,
Do they work?
that's the thing is that you have to know a little bit about bees because I think a lot of people bought them and they're like, "Where's the honey at, dude?" They don't understand how bees work. The bees just don't like start producing massive amount of honey.
They don't poop honey all day?
Not all day.
Do they poop
You're
it
the
or
one
do
bringing
they-
up the poop.
I don't know. I had to get it in there.
I wanted to ask you a
Chomping at the bit for the poop banter.
I
Yeah,
bet
we're
you get
almost
into a
at
lot
break.
of shit.
Yes, stick around after the break for all the poop stories.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you a question about people who are buying new homes, because when I bought my house, I had a plumber come out and I had them snake the main line drain to the sewer. What do you think is one of the most important plumbing things that people should look for when they purchase a new house?
Definitely the sewer.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
And do you put a camera down there?
Yeah.
I kind of watched what he was doing, but I felt bad looking over his shoulder, honestly.
Yeah.
But you snake it all the way. Like what? Generally, the sewers are made of a bunch of different pipes, right? It could be clay. Is it galvanized too?
Yeah, typically it'll be like cast iron under the house.
Cast iron.
And then it'll transition within a couple feet outside of the foundation to like clay tile pipe, typically in these areas, the older homes, obviously. Clay tile pipe, which is like 3-foot sections with a bell and spigot on each end. And then they would like seal that bell and spigot with like mastic or fibers or, you know, lead oakum, sometimes concrete, whatever, depending on the area it was built in. And then those little seals will start to break up with the earth shifting and whatnot. Then the water will slowly start leaking out. Then that water is going to slowly erode that soil under the pipe. And then over time, that's when you see those, if you've ever seen the camera, you can see like the opposing wall of that bell and spigot when the camera's going down it. And if you get what we call like a positive offset or a negative offset, so a positive is when you're going down with the camera and you can see the wall of the offset, and negative is when you don't see it and you drop off into it.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. And so the erosion is basically what causes the failure there because the water's leaking, and then the pipe will fall.
Yeah, and then the roots, you know, typically in the wintertime, they will start digging deep, you know, to get to water. And they'll find that moisture from that leak, and then they follow the water, and then they just worm into the crack, and then they have all the nutrients and water they could ever ask for.
I always thought the roots were just like growing through pipes, but that totally makes sense. They're just following the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
Yep. Once they get in there, they're pretty strong, you know, but they're not going to break through it.
Yeah.
They're not going to dig through the pipe. Yeah.
Well, so
I'm sure they could wedge it apart, though, you know, as the root grows and stuff.
Yeah.
I have a brand new build, so what they do in mine, I don't have to worry about any of that, or is there something I should worry about? Or
brand new build?
Brand new, yeah.
I would still, it might seem redundant to most people, but I would still camera the sewer just because, especially the way homes are built now, they're built so fast, you know, and they're built efficiently and they're built well, but being that they're built fast, there's so much quantity for inspectors to go through that certain things, everyone's human. Even if you're a great inspector, you're going to miss some things. And a lot of the times those sewers get filled in quickly and the inspection's just a visual inspection. And, you know, you can hide a lot of shortcuts with dirt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
When should I do that? Like now?
Yeah.
I've been in there 3 months.
Oh, you already bought it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Just do it whenever. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, but you're probably...
It's more likely good. I'm just saying, like, people assume that a new sewer is going to be perfect. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes they don't bed it properly, and then they don't backfill it properly, or they backfill it uneven, so it pushes the pipe down, and then it has a belly.
Oh, it's been 5 months.
Oh, yeah, it has.
So that's the main thing I would check for.
Okay.
Yeah. If there's standing water in the pipe.
What's something that you look for in like an older house that somebody, I'm sure you get calls for that all the time. Like, I'm buying this house. Can you come out and take a look at everything just to see what you think? What's like a red flag on an older house that you look for just as far as plumbing goes that you're like, I don't know, you might have to replace all of this.
If you look up, if you can see the pipes, let's assume it's an older house. You go in the basement, you can see the pipes. If they're like silvery, like galvanized metal, that's not necessarily a good thing.
Okay. Because just over time?
They're just old. It's like going to be like the oldest kind of pipes you're going to see, really.
Yeah,
you know?
At this time, they're already rusted on the inside.
Yeah, by this time, if they're still there, they're 50, 60 years old.
Yeah, so you're just basically waiting on a failure.
Yeah.
It's a matter of time.
And what he just said nails it. Like, they can look really nice on the outside. You're like, oh, man, they're in such good condition.
Inside, they're horrible.
Yeah.
There's like just a little stream going through.
You never want to drink your water from your tap ever again.
Yeah, it's gross.
You know, that is one thing that a friend of mine that I helped move yesterday, it's James Allen. He was on the show, and he's been on the show in the past. Actually, one of the only episodes we had to take down.
Yeah.
We were asked.
Oh, do tell.
Yeah, so we got asked by the Delta Center to take it down. That was interesting. But it was because he worked security for the venue, and I think we just got into a little too much detail. And it was at the time that they renamed
back to the Delta Center,
from Vivint back to the Delta Center, but I don't think they had publicly written a public corporation statement.
Don't get this episode taken down.
No,
it
that's
had been
okay.
announced, but I think there are details we predicted that came true.
Yeah, we just predicted some things that happened, and then also I asked them to come on the show and talk to us about it and tell us what we got wrong. You know,
and they wouldn't.
No,
they wouldn't do it.
They're busy. That's fine. Everybody's busy. I get it. But that same guy, it's really weird when it comes to water. There's a couple things that I think is funny. They really buy into the Kangen water thing. Have you ever heard of that? It's basically this
little machine,
$5,000 machine that you hook up to your tap, and it creates
different pH levels.
Different pH level of water. Yeah, and so there you have a hose out that's a dirty water hose, which is like super low pH, and then you have the clean water, and they live and die by it. But he was just moving into his new house yesterday, and he's like, do you think that the tap water in Draper is going to be good?
It's culinary water up there.
I'm like, yeah, it's going to be great.
Sure.
Like, I think that living in Utah, most parts of Utah, we won't bring Magna into this.
Well, don't drink Mid-Bell water.
But most parts of the state, we get pretty good water because we're surrounded by the place where a lot of water comes from. Comes from the mountains.
Yeah.
Look, I don't want to rain on your parade.
Yeah, hit me with it.
But I'm going to.
Hit me with it. How good is our water?
It's horrible.
Okay.
Yeah. Watch now. Utah's gonna take this. Utah State's gonna take it.
You're on Fox 13, the weekly InSalt podcast, that the water in Utah is horrible. That would. Not
I can't think.
Happen.
I wish I could think of the website. Maybe someone will know. But there's a website you can look up the water quality results.
I'll see if
for any zip code.
EPA maybe.
Oh yeah, the EPA,
and it will terrify you.
So when I had my house built in Midvale, it's on the Superfund site, and I work for a bank, called the environmental guy. I said, tell me about my water. He said,
Tap Water Database, EWG. Is it Tap Water, EWG, Tap Water Database? It's a
Click on it. Does it let you put your zip code in?
Yeah.
Yes. That's it.
Let's see what it says. Oh, and then it instantly wants me to protect myself from PFAS chemicals.
Yes, you should.
What are they?
They turn the frogs gay.
They're PFAS. They're the forever chemicals.
Oh, that's been a huge trending word lately, is forever chemicals.
Yeah, with good reason.
Yeah.
Did you put your zip code in?
It's like chemical castration. What?
You're gonna die.
It says, I don't know. It doesn't say anything about.
Well, it should give you it might email it to you or something, but it should give you the results for.
It just tells me the people served, so I think it's behind a paywall, maybe.
I don't remember having to put any payment in.
Oh, no, it's not. It just, view utility. Contaminants detected.
How many?
I'll tell you.
It'll be like 16,000 times arsenic levels.
See, 29
something crazy
total
like that.
Contaminants. Legal does not necessarily equal safe. Getting a passing grade from the federal government does not mean that the water meets the latest health guidelines. Legal limits for contaminants in tap water have not been updated in almost 20 years.
Listen up, kids. Listen up.
The best way to ensure clean tap water is to keep pollution out of the source of water in the first place. Yeah, I think it's sad that they have to put that as a bullet point, but it's true.
So basically, get rid of all the people. We'll quit creating pollution.
Holy shit, it does tell you. This is terrifying.
What does it say?
I don't know if I want to tell the people.
Tell the people.
Tell the people.
Yeah.
All right.
Tell.
This is for Sandy City, and sorry, Sandy City, to use you as an example, but I'm sure you can look up your own zip code on this. It's ewg.org, and in Sandy City right now, the arsenic levels are 47 times.
Times what?
The normal accepted level.
Is there a normal accepted level?
Yeah,
of
because
arsenic?
the government says
does it really matter? Yeah, apparently not.
See, this is like one of the things that people should be talking about is
right.
And I can get, it's got to be hard for a government agency to test all of the city's water in the entire United States all the time. But it already told us that some of these tests are 20 years old. Mm-hmm. Think about how much the Salt Lake Valley's changed in 20 years. If the last reading was 20 years ago, who knows what's getting into that stuff?
Yeah.
And how well the tanks are maintained and things like that. I'm sure there's a schedule on it, but do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, give us a couple more.
Yeah, a lot of these things I can't pronounce, but I'll do my best. Chromium is 22 times.
What does chromium do to you guys?
I don't know, but it sounds like a great vitamin that we're ingesting anyway.
One of us should look up what the chemical does to you.
Kurt's gonna
while the other one's saying what it is.
Did you just look up Midvale? Yeah, I knew it.
I bet Midvale's worse.
Okay, look up
Bumble Bee Plumbing, ladies and gentlemen.
So
servicing the entire Wasatch Front.
Kurt will hit the chromium, the definitions. But is there a situation where you've ever installed like a entire home water filtration system?
Oh, all the time.
So people do request that stuff.
Yeah.
Do they work?
Yeah.
And
if
how
you
much
change
are they?
the filter, I imagine.
Yeah.
Like
they work great.
A water softener?
And there's all types of filters for all types of things that you might be worried about.
Everybody's
Fluoride,
fridge probably
chlorine.
has, yeah. I mean, they put fluoride on purpose in the water, right?
Yes, they do.
Yeah. And they probably put fluoride in the water if the water already contained fluoride. So it's probably not a great thing to get a ton of fluoride.
Yeah, because the fluoride they're putting in the water is not natural occurring fluoride. I'm not going to go any further on that because I'm just a plumber.
Yeah,
not a chemist.
Not a chemist. Yeah. There's this haliocetic acids, HAA5 in parentheses. Potential effect causes cancer. This is 180 times the limit in Sandy.
Wow.
Yeah. But you know what? If we're living in California, dude, everything causes cancer.
Well, I don't know if you know this.
If you live in the state of cancer, everything causes California.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I don't know if you know this, but everything's fine in California. There's a lot of stuff on here. EWG.org. What does chromium do, Kurt?
It's a...
ChatGPT it.
I was going to say, it's
we should just have ChatGPT up all the time.
Basically a really hard metal.
The potential effect on here says cancer. I mean, a lot of these say cancer, and these are the EWG's health guideline is what these ratings are based off of. So this isn't a government website. This is a company that tests tap water, basically. So, I mean, the government probably has a different level that these should be at, but
probably.
I mean, they got a lot to do. They're a government.
Yeah, it's in steel. So it's corrosion resistant, super hard metal.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's take a break real quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we'll be back. And we're back. Episode 311. I totally skipped over that because I was excited to talk about poop. We haven't even gotten to that yet.
We haven't, no.
Yeah, episode 311 finally feels great to have the prompter back to not having the word O on it.
Right.
Wait.
What?
What?
Wait until there's an episode.
Oh, I thought you said wait.
Oh.
I did too.
I did
too.
I had to look.
Yeah, that's my name's problem. It's like when people say wait, I could be in the middle of a crowd and somebody's like, wait, and I'm like, I didn't even do anything. You know? But we just got done in the first half talking about the water quality stuff, and I think that's eye-opening for me.
I'm scared now.
It doesn't scare me because I feel like, I mean, you could say the same thing about air. You know,
yeah,
the air quality in the valley causes a lot of problems.
Well, so I do have a question. So I have a water softener, and I drink my water out of the fridge because it's filtered. Am I being any safer, really?
No, and you shouldn't necessarily be drinking your water softener water because it's really high in sodium.
Just how do you not drink it?
You would have to tie the water softener in either to the hot side. If it's an existing situation, the easiest, less abrasive way is to tie it into the hot side only of your plumbing. That way when you shower, it's soft, and when you do dishes, it's soft, and if you do warm laundry, it's soft.
Your water,
I just learned
something.
Do that? But all the cold water is hard water, normal fresh water, right? Because you're essentially recreating salt water, like the water by the coast.
Got ya.
Oh, okay.
That's where it's soft, right?
Yeah, so you're just adding sodium.
Yeah, but there's a good chunk of sodium in that water. I heard once, long time ago, from a water quality guy, I don't know how accurate it is, but he said the same amount of sodium that's in a can of Coke.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit. I don't know how much that is, though. I know tons of sugars in there, of course, but...
I thought Coke was it's low sodium.
I mean, you can put low sodium on anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've had our minds blown twice. Once by the warranties and now by the tap water.
Right.
Like, we need to keep going.
I thought I was being so much healthier water-wise.
Yeah, and I think...
We'll get you straight.
Okay.
We were talking on the break that it's really interesting to me that we live in a community where so much of the community relies on us working together, but we're so quick to just live in our own little bubble, you know, like, and just ignore like the water quality. I mean, if people are getting sick, that's a different story. People start getting sick, all of a sudden everybody becomes aware of it, but it's almost like we're reactive instead of proactive. Yeah. Because once people start getting sick, now it's a problem when we should have seen that coming from a long ways away.
Yeah.
But then you just drink a lot more beer because that's what saved people when we first started creating plumbing.
Exactly. So a can of Coke's got 43.2 grams of sodium.
And how many should you have in a day? 1,200 to 1,700 or something like that?
I think so.
2,000 milligrams to 2 grams per day.
Yeah. So
think about weighing out
over. So like 5 glasses of water is your sodium intake for the day total.
And I always think about, because that went viral on TikTok.
No, it would be a tenth.
Oh, sorry.
Where people would
that's why we're plumbers. Yeah.
People would take like a can of Coke and then they would weigh out all of the ingredients to the same grams on like a kitchen scale. And when you put like 43 grams of sodium on like a kitchen scale, you would probably be surprised that it was that much.
How much is it? A cup?
43 grams.
You mean just visually, like
just visually, yeah.
Visually.
When you look at it, because like if you do that with a can of Coke, the amount of sugar that you're ingesting it's a fucking pile.
It's ungodly.
Yeah,
it
really is. And then I turned those videos off because I'm like, I don't know.
There was that meme on Instagram that circled for a while that showed the baggies, the Ziploc bags with the amount of sugar that's in each drink, and it was like,
it gets ridiculous. So I guess, do you have any other questions?
No, that was it. I was wondering, really, like, is it worth having a water softener and filtering your water through a fridge and then being okay with it?
Yeah.
That was really my question.
Okay, so to finish your question on that, I would say it's great to have a water softener if you're using it for the right application, which is like you want soft clothes and shiny dishes and soft skin,
nice hair,
and protect your pipes, right? It will keep your pipes looking young.
So I should probably have you out to flip it and put it on the hot water side.
Yeah, and for your, or if there's a way we can do, like we can run dedicated freshwater lines to like your kitchen faucet.
Got you.
And your hose spigots, because you don't really want to garden with that. It has a tendency to kill some plants. So
good to know.
Yeah. And then you could put in a freshwater filter for drinking.
That's crazy.
It is. I learned.
I don't know why. I guess because older houses, but by default, like on a new build, you wouldn't just put a filter in to begin with, like right at your main water line in. I guess it's extra maintenance, which a lot of people already don't, enjoy maintaining an extra thing every year or every few months or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think that'd probably be the main reason people don't, like building contractors don't. It's because people probably want the option to have to maintain that or not.
Yeah, that's true. One thing I did want to ask you about is, how do you feel about products like Drano and things like that? When people are like, oh, I've got a clogged drain, I'll just buy Drano and pour it down. Yeah,
I think just inherently I get a bad taste in my mouth about it. Going back to water quality issues.
Yeah.
And I think, like the sulfuric acid and whatnot that's in it, they neutralize, when they hit the soil or whatever, so to speak. But I don't know what else is in those, and I'm not smart enough to know how bad they are for me. And I just kind of,
a lot of chemicals.
I don't like seeing a paragraph on the back of any ingredient label of anything, really.
Do you think there's any clog that you would ever use Drano for? Like, you would never in your life go to a store and purchase a Drano and then pour it down a Drano?
No.
Yeah.
There's this other product, I can't think of the name of it right now, but
Liquid Plumber.
No, it's it comes in a little bottle. If any plumbers are out, they'll know what I'm thinking of. It comes in little crystals, and you pour it in there. You add water, and it seems to cut through, like, does really well with bathroom sinks, like gooey hair and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it tends to chew that up real quick, but you got to be careful with it because it is like a pretty pure acid.
Oh, okay.
And so,
is it like the root kill stuff?
I forgot
no, it's not root kill. Oh gosh, I can't think of it. But anyway, that product's decent, and it's mainly like sulfuric acid, so it doesn't have a lot of extra heavy metals and weird ingredients in there.
There was also, oh shoot, I just lost it. I was going to say there's a different product too that was for, it's for these like little sticks that are supposed to be like bio sticks. So for like your kitchen sink, everything has, everybody's sink should have a trap, a P-trap, basically. But you drop them down in your sink and it gets stuck in the P-trap. The P-trap holds water mainly, so you're basically creating a closed drain system, right? Every drain in a house has a vent that goes out somewhere, and that's to stop the sewer from coming back up through your shower or something and making your house smell like shit. So the P-trap allows it to kind of close off that connection, keep it airtight kind of. But you drop them in the P-trap, and then it's supposed to release like this bacteria or something that eats up all organic material that might get caught in your P-trap. Mm-hmm. That seems like a reasonable option rather than just dumping Drano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know how well they would work. Do plumbers generally use anything that's like
a snake?
I don't know, like that.
Probably you just
mostly. I guess you wouldn't really put
stuff,
chemicals
right?
down there.
Yeah, there's this stuff called BioClean that I really like, actually. It's like active enzymes. It comes in a powder. You dump it down the drain, add a little water, let it sit overnight. And that does really good at eating up all the gunk and sludge in your pipe.
Okay.
I think it was originally made for septic tank.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I was actually just
cleaning.
looking to see if I could find that powder.
Yeah.
And actually just saw that BioClean, and it's actually BioClean bacteria septic cleaner.
Yeah, that stuff rocks.
See, that's cool that there are people out there pushing that bar of, like, let's find out if there's things that eat what we waste and clean it up naturally rather than some chemical that...
Yeah.
And I've heard that, Drano, depending on your pipes, it's going to eat them away at different rates. It can potentially react with different types of metal.
Yeah, it chews up galvanized pipe real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There's a thing going around right now, actually, with Sandy City where they want to know what everybody's water main pipe is. I think they're just trying to catalog which houses have the old galvanized ones, which ones have copper coming in, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and probably trying to hunt down the last remaining lead pipe water mains.
Isn't that crazy that we used to make water mains out of lead?
Yeah.
I know,
we had
right?
a customer that was like 104, and she grew up in the house. She was born in the house.
Whoa.
Drank that lead pipe her entire life. We went and cut it out for her.
And then she probably dropped dead.
Actually, it's funny you say that because she did, bro. She died a year later after we did the job. I got a call from the same number, and my assistant sent me over there, and I show up, and it's her family. I'm like, oh, where's Janine or whatever? And they're like, yeah, she died 2 days ago.
Oh,
shit. It was 2 days after we got the job done. This was a week later, and I connected the dots, and I was like, wow, I was there 2 days before she passed away. She was such a sweetie, man.
You took the lead pipes out and you killed her.
She was so dependent on the lead.
On the lead.
Yeah.
It was part of her
shocked
diet.
her body.
Exactly.
The body just went into shock. I'm not getting as much lead as I used to.
Where's my lead?
That was the secret of longevity.
Killed the poor woman. Kind of fucked up. What if he really thought that? He goes home at night and he's like, man, I killed that old lady.
I know. And how hard to fall asleep.
You just gave him PTSD.
Yeah.
Well, we got 20 minutes left. I think it's time.
Oh, yeah.
I have to ask the question that
the
everybody
question.
wants to know. What is...
Kurt's Corner?
Yeah, let's do Kurt's Corner.
Okay.
Kurt's Corner.
Kurt's Corner.
Kurt's Corner.
Kurt's Corner.
Kurt's Corner.
You don't have one? You said you had one.
The longer you take to do it, we just keep singing.
Yeah, I'm just going to sing Kurt's Corner forever.
Give him a minute. He's wiping the boogies out of his eyes.
All right, this one isn't too spectacular, but I thought it was interesting.
Is it plumbing related?
It is.
Okay.
All right.
So this happened back in 2023, November. But a Spanish man from the city of Malaga, I don't know where that is, but was recently arrested after...
Uncultured swine.
I want to say Spain.
Maybe.
He was recently arrested after reportedly holding a plumber at gunpoint because the plumber asked for too much money to fix a broken water pipe.
I'm assuming that you haven't had... Was it you?
That's damn near happened to me.
Really?
Not identical story, but yes, very close.
Do people get aggressive when
Cops
they're
were
like...
involved.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Over plumbing?
Yeah. Well, it ties into
Well,
me.
apparently this guy found the cost of the operation so obscenely high that he pulled out a gun to threaten to kill the man. The man's neighbors called the police after hearing several boom-like noises from his apartment windows, and when officers arrived, the assailant refused to release the prisoner, or the plumber, threatening to detonate a butane cylinder if anyone tried to come through the door.
All over the price of plumbing.
Yeah.
Boy.
There's had to be...
offered a discount.
Yeah.
Dude, all right, man. I'll give you 10% off. Like, chill.
Right.
It wasn't reported what the plumber had asked for, but...
Yeah.
But I'm giving you a free membership.
Yeah.
3 months free, dude.
Yeah.
It's a $30 value.
3-year warranty.
Give you 1 month interest free, and after that, it's 400%.
Okay, so what's the question?
There was no question.
Oh, this is a story.
My question is, though, you got to tell us a little bit about the story where the cops were involved, but don't use any names, of course.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't remember the names. My psyche is blocked out. Yeah, I started Bumble Bee in 2019, and then, long story short, I got stuck in Australia for 9 months from the lockdowns. Mm-hmm. And then when I came back, my phone wasn't receiving any messages, and I hadn't arranged to not have the phone, to not be in the situation. I was just going over there for a little while. But anyway, so when I got back, I had some messages on my phone of past customers. There was 2 customers, and then one was a lady that she left some message like the pipes you put in were too small or something like that. And it was like this sweet old lady out in Plain City, way out there in the sticks, surrounded by cornfields. And I drive out there. I'm like, I'll be right out there. I kind of explained to her what had happened. Like, hey, sorry, I've been out of the country unexpectedly on lockdown. Just getting back off the ground. I'll be right out.
Yeah.
So I went out there, and she was real sweet. And I walked into the house and was looking at what they were concerned about. And ultimately, it was all just a misunderstanding. It was like I'd taken out the galvanized pipe, right, which have a bigger outer diameter than PEX does.
Yeah.
Because PEX is that
PEX
plastic
is pretty
pipe,
much the standard
familiar.
now, right?
Yeah. And so they thought, oh, he put in smaller pipes, what's going on? And so I'm sitting there explaining it to this lady in this little laundry room about half the size of the studio. And I'm like bent over the washing machine, tightening up some little hose for her. And in comes this old, like, probably 70-year-old man, just an old farmer guy, full of piss and vinegar and
he
whiskey.
Was coming in hot.
Yeah, just way hot. Like, slammed the door open and started talking to his wife about me as if I wasn't there, kind of thing, really aggressively. And I was like, oh boy. And I was just kind of had my back turned to him and was just kind of thinking, what do I do in this position? How do I defuse this situation? And I turned around to start talking to him and explaining to him what was going on. And he had this cane in his hand, and he just body checked me all of a sudden, like kind of right where my throat hits my chest.
Oh, jeez.
Just body checked, grabbed the cane and just hit me with it. And I was like, holy crap, kind of shocked, not knowing what to do. And then he swung at me, barely missed my chin.
Shit.
Yeah, barely missed my chin. And then we kind of got flipped around on each other, and then he checked me again, and at that point I caught the cane after he checked me, and I pinned him up against the wall.
You're like, calm down.
And when I pinned him up against the wall, I saw his shoulder drop, and I looked down, and he was grabbing a 45 Magnum that was in his
shit.
He had put it on, had the belt and the holster on.
So he was planning to do this kind of thing, and then he's like, I got to defend myself.
Yeah, and his wife was like, what's his, I can't remember his name, but don't do that, and kind of put her hand and pressed her body against his arm.
Oh, jeez.
And at that point, I kind of let go and backed up, and I just kind of watched him because I could tell she had gotten him to calm down. And I just started grabbing all my tools, and I had a ton of tools. I had 200 pounds worth of stuff, and I just grabbed it all and started walking out of there. And she's trying to get me. She's like, "No, please, can you just stay and fix the thing for me?" And I'm like, "Sorry, man. I gotta go. At this point, I gotta leave."
Yeah.
And so I went to walk out, and there had little concrete 4 steps coming out of the back door. And as I went to take the first step, the dude tripped me, and I fell all the way down the stairs. All my tools went everywhere, and I just got back up and grabbed him, picked him, and just got in my van, got the hell out of there.
What the heck?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was wild.
Go over to somebody's house to help them, and that's the reception you get. Man, some people are just angry, though.
Yeah, he was
really
just,
angry.
he was an old guy,
Probably had it in
Thank
his
God,
mind.
if he was younger, I might have been getting my butt kicked.
Yeah.
And try not to hurt him because he's an older guy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure in that situation, I guess the cops couldn't do much. I'm sure they talked to him and stuff, but I guess, did you press charges?
No.
Yeah.
No, I just made a police report just for record, and then it's we'll just take them off the call list.
Yeah. Not going back in there. Add them to their client notes or something. Yeah.
This address
may
is
pull a gun on you.
Yeah.
Go over there at your own risk.
Warranty void.
Yeah. Yeah, there's more than one way to void your warranty.
Right. Pull a gun on me. That's one way.
Yeah. All right, we got to get into it now.
All right, do it.
What's the biggest horror story that you have? A job where you show up and you're like, I wasn't expecting this.
Oh boy.
And does it involve poop?
I'm sure it does.
Definitely involves poop. And
do you find that hard to deal with at this point, or have you pretty much gotten to the point where you're like, you know what you're in for, kind of? You're like, I can just deal with it.
Yeah, definitely that point hit me when I was like 25, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, growing up with my dad, maybe even before that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's still, I think it bothers me more now because I don't really do it anymore. My guys do.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And so now when I'm around it, it seems more shocking. I'm like, you guys can smell that, right?
Yeah, we do it all the time.
Do something about that. Yeah, if I'm around raw sewage, it's usually on like a dig job where my guys are excavating and I'm just making sure everything's going smoothly. So I luckily don't have to really do that too much more.
So you've replaced laterals then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we do a lot of those. Yeah.
Do you ever do the pipe inside the pipe?
Yeah. Yep, we do.
Okay.
I think I have a sample of it in my truck actually. Yeah, lining. Yeah, it's fun stuff. Yeah. It works great. I mean, I think lining's, in my opinion, this is so controversial. I'm sure every plumber has an opinion, but I think lining is the strongest by far of any kind of pipe, regardless of like trenchless replacement or new. I would take a lined sewer over a new like SDR 35 sewer with gaskets in it.
That all went over my head so far. Yeah. I felt the wind, dude.
Right. So like because the liner is like it's a fiberglass sock, you know, and then you have this long fiberglass sock with no seams, and you cut it to the length of the sewer, and then you impregnate it with resin and catalyst, and then you blow it into the sewer with this blower machine, and it inverts it as it goes, and then you blow in a big industrial size water balloon inside of that and fill it with hot water and boil it, and that water presses that new pipe sock against the existing pipe. And you go in there and machine it and get it smooth before you do all this, right?
Yeah.
And so you have a nice surface, and then that pipe or that balloon is curing it with the heat and keeping its mold. And then once it's done, you pop it and pull it out and do your finish connections. And now you have this like pipe that has this super thick wall. You're not disturbing any of the soil. You're not doing all that stuff. You're not dealing with compaction and whatnot that can have effects if you don't do it properly.
It sounds like a process.
It sounds like alien technology, honestly. Like,
yeah.
That's crazy that people figured that out. That, you know, I guess it's probably a cost-effective thing as opposed to trenching up your whole yard, right?
Well, yeah, especially like think if you know most people's sewer goes out into the street somewhere, so then you got to dig a hole, you got to get traffic control, you got to pay for asphalt and density testing and all sorts of different stuff.
Probably makes it difficult for you too because you're dealing with the city at that point.
Yeah.
So they want to make sure that the gutter's back how it should be and the roads how it should be. So I'm sure you deal with inspectors then.
And they want their piece of the pie, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, permit, I'm sure.
Permits galore.
Yeah. So what's the worst job?
Oh, the worst job. Okay, yes. Here we go, everybody.
This is all the shit you've been waiting for.
Yes.
I bet you've seen some shit.
I bet you've never heard that before.
Nope. Well, did you just come up with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
That's funny.
Okay, so the first one that comes to mind. We don't have too long. We can go.
Just ignore the
clock. We can go forever. Okay.
Yeah.
I think this was back when I was like 27, probably. I'm 40 now, so it was a little while ago. I was driving home from one hell of a day. Didn't own my business at this point, and I worked for a larger company. And it was like 7:30 at night, and I was pretty tired. And those sons of bitches had GPS on their vans, as any good business owner does.
Yep.
And they saw that I was in Farmington, Utah, right where they just picked up an emergency call for a sewage line backup, right?
So you're first on the list.
So they called me and was like, can you take this? You know, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm hungry. Let's do it. I need some money. So I go to this call thinking it'd be real quick. And if you know Farmington, they have like all those old farmhouses that have been around forever, you know, beautiful little spots.
Yeah.
And this was like 1918. I'll never forget the year. 1918 house.
You can still smell it to
this day. Little white cottage. And I get in there and the guy has the toilet pulled and I look in the pipe and I'm like, oh, it's brand new ABS pipe. This is great. This is just going to be a little soft blockage and I'll go home and get a little bonus for the day. So I bring in my machine because I was the little drain cleaning bitch back then.
Yeah.
And I started cleaning out the drains and couldn't get it. was giving it everything I had and couldn't get it. And I'm like, what the hell? And I went at it for 45 minutes or so. Jeez. And finally I'm like, I got to figure something else out. This is getting late. It's like 8:30 or something now, you know? And I asked the guy, I'm like, is there a crawl space here? And he's like, yeah, come here, I'll show you. And he takes me around corner, and I'm like, okay. And there's this hole, like not even as tall as 2 of the foam things on the wall.
Which is like
what, like a foot and a half, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like 12 inches.
12 inches.
Yeah, so it was like maybe 15 inches high, maybe at best, by like 12 inches long, let's say. It was really small. Luckily, I've always been a high metabolism, wiry little guy. So
you could fit in there.
Yeah, I could fit in there, especially when I was 27. I was probably like 140 pounds or something. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, oh, I'll just get down in there. And it was this little sandstone foundation, exterior foundation.
Okay.
And so they had just chiseled out like a boulder, basically. And that was the hole to crawl through. And I get in there, and there's just big trees that they just laid down in a row on the ground. And then they built the house on that, right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so someone had dug out this little, like, 2-foot trench, 2 foot by, like, 12 inches wide. I could just fit my body in there. And, like, crouch down.
Like I never want to go. Is that crawl space?
Yeah. Crouch down. I'm in there, and the main sewer stack's there, and the main sewer drain's, like, right going over my shoulder and my head. Oh. And I'm just really crunched in there with everything.
Laura's already, like,
cringing.
Preparing.
Yeah. As you should. And so... So I get crawling down there, and I'm like looking around. It's all brand new pipe, and I can't figure it out. It's like a straight run. It's 70 feet, like going across this house, and it's going straight the whole way. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, how? And I'm filling it, and there's a bunch of weight in there. I'm like, oh, this pipe's full. Like, what's going on? And I like shimmy my way all the way down to the end, come back, don't see anything. I get back kind of to where I'm like 4 feet from that little crawl hole space that I came in at. And there's this big, what we call a fern coat. It's like an industrial-sized rubber band that's maybe like 5 inches wide, and it has like big industrial hose clamps on it, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's where you can tie 2 pieces of pipe together. And so they had one of those on the pipe, and I'm looking at it, and it's kind of like sunken down. It has like a belly in it.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, oh, that's it. That's what it is. Like something, like it wasn't set right, or they didn't cut the pipe right, or something that built up a bunch of junk, and it's backed up. Mm-hmm. And so I get up to it, I'm still tight in this hole, and the pipe's right in front of my face.
Oh, no.
And I push up on it, and I'm like, oh, it's okay, it's not in all the way, so I'm trying to get it in, and then all of a sudden it just explodes with like grenade force.
Holy
all
shit.
over me.
Shit.
and that was just the beginning. Then that 70 feet, it was 70 feet of pipe.
That's got to go somewhere.
A 4-inch pipe. I don't know what the volume calculation on that, but I'm sure it's quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so it all drains out, and I'm literally just sitting there like not even knowing what to do. Yeah, and it's like going towards, because it's going towards that little crawl space that I crawled in at, because that was like dug out, so it sloped down, and so it just within like 5 seconds completely filled the hole to where it was pitch black. It was pitch black in the trench, and I'm literally like kneeling, like on my knees, I'm like sitting on my feet, like knelt down.
Yeah.
And my butt, I could feel the sewage coming up my belt, and I was like, no way. So it was like at least 6 inches deep.
Oh.
This is gnarly. So now, please tell me you didn't have to swim through that to get out.
I don't think I'd call it swimming.
Like waiting.
Did you have to fully submerge?
I didn't have to fully. No.
All right, this is your moment. You signed up for this. Get her, hit her harder.
This is what comes to mind anytime someone's like, "Why is plumbing so expensive?"
That's why. Yeah,
why.
That's why.
No. So I just sit there, and I'm like ready just to die. I'm like, methane gas, I'm dead. Yep. And it starts like seeping down, and all of a sudden I see the light again in the hole, and I'm like, wait a second, it's going down. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, we're cool. So I sat there for like 15, 20 minutes, just waiting for it to come down. Just
in a room full of shit, sewage, raw sewage. You sat there for 15 minutes.
Calling it a room is generous, sir.
Yeah. Fair. I just immediately downplay the severity of this.
I mean, I'm picturing Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, totally. Except I'm not free. I'm still a slave to the man. Yeah, so I finally lay down in it, and it like when I lay down, it comes over my shoulders, and it's like around my neck, and I'm shimmering out of this whole thing, and I'm trying not to get it in my mouth, and it's hitting my chin, fully almost over my head, and I get out and I crawl out, and I'm literally sitting there with my feet right next to the exit as I get out, and the boulder that was like at the top of the hole, I'm not kidding you, just falls out within like 2 inches of my feet and splashes sewage all over me. And I just was like,
wound there.
That's like out of a movie, like something that would happen, dude.
It was insane.
Oh my gosh.
And I get up and I'm like walking around the guy's house, and I literally look over and I have 2 dirty tampons on my shoulder. Yeah. And I look on my left and there's like a yellowish turd on my left shoulder, and I'm like just flinging it off.
Yeah, at that point it's like you're covered in it.
I take my gloves off and go knock on the door, and the guy answers, and he just like, I'm like, hey, and he just wide-eyed, and he just starts nodding his head, and I'm like, I'm like, I'm gonna go home. He's like, yeah. You call me tomorrow. I'm like, okay, man, thanks, bye.
I'm sure
just like walked off.
He got a hose.
I'm sure that guy was equally as appalled, like he was probably like embarrassed too, I mean, somebody knocks on your door and they're wearing what you ate for the past like 3 months, dude.
Oh, it's bad.
Sorry if you guys are listening to this over lunch.
Oh man, one time, we had this customer. This guy, he's a great customer, but man, did we have to sit in an awkward situation with him and his daughter one night.
Oh jeez.
He calls us over there, and I sent over my guy, and my guy couldn't figure it out, so I went there and helped him, and come to find out he has a sewage ejection pump in his house, and his daughter flushed her tampons down there. And he had already told her not to because he had to replace the pump once, and it was this pretty big house with a commercial grade pump that was extremely expensive, and I took pictures of it with my camera, and I go and show him, and all of a sudden he just yells for his daughter, and I'm like, no, please don't do this right now. And he, sure enough, has her come over, and he grabs my phone. He's like, can I see that? And like shows it to her right in front of me and my guy. He's like, do you see what that is? And she was so embarrassed. I felt so bad for this girl, man. You could tell I was like, this is a core memory that she's never going to forget.
That's crazy too, because
really unfortunate.
A lot of times, correct me if I'm wrong, Lark, because I'm not a woman, but I believe that women will flush it because some people are embarrassed or whatever, and it's a gross thing that happens with the human body. But then to get caught and have
it's
it
not
shoved
gross,
in your
it's beautiful, you patriarchal asshole.
I mean, I've taken some shits that are definitely not beautiful. But I mean, it's one of those embarrassing things that happen.
It is, yeah.
And so I'm sure that is going to be a memory that she never forgets.
Ever. I bet she never flushed one again.
Oh, I guarantee it.
Yeah. I guess this is the perfect way to end the show, because not like right there. I've got a question. Yes. I've got a question.
We need a little uplifting question. Yeah. What do you do in your spare time, man? What do you like to do for fun?
No, this one is an educational thing for people out there. Tell me how flushable wipes are.
Not very flushable.
Yeah, yeah, and this the dude wipes thing that everybody's like, yeah, man, they're flushable. Everything's fine. It's okay.
Everything's fine.
And it makes it so much better. Like, just get a bidet, because
bidets are great.
I love
mine too.
I'm sure that you've cleaned out many clogs of just flushable wipes and things that have been flushed down toilets that should never be there.
Well, even the poop has to go somewhere. Think about how many people are in this world, and how many poops do you take a day, Wade?
Depends on the day. You know, sometimes I eat Taco Bell. There's a lot of poops.
So times how many people? Where does all that poop go?
To the
But the
waste
poop
management.
can like decompose.
That's true.
And like a little water soluble.
It's a lot of poop, though, if you think about it.
If the wind blows just right in mid-throw, you can smell where all that poop goes.
Get on the front runner and head south to Provo.
Yeah.
And once you go past Orem, the train literally goes right by it. You can smell it and everything. Mm-hmm. And there's literally mountains of shit out there.
That's where the poop goes?
Not for up here, but for down there.
What do they do with it?
They use it for fertilizer.
Yeah.
They usually
eat
just
your own
dry it
poop
out.
later.
Yeah, they turn it into makeup. You didn't know that?
No.
You literally poop faced.
Not going there.
Yeah, come on.
Nope.
Well, thank you so much for spending your time with us on Sunday, man.
Yeah, man.
We kind of limited it to an hour because that's that means we gotta have you back. You know, we can tell more stories
for sure,
and some better stories, and hear more about Bumble Bee Plumbing and what you guys do. I'm sure that it's not just all dealing with shit. I'm sure you're helping out a lot of people. So thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does anybody want to get one last question in?
No.
We'll just leave you to chew on that for a little while.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next week. Right. This has been your weekly insult. Dude, so many people love those dude wipes. And it's crazy because I hear people like, I don't ever go to the bathroom without them. And I'm like, they say flushable on the package, but the package can say anything.
No, literally, it's like the only thing you bring up from sewers, I swear, is like Roots, tampons, and flushable wipes.
Yeah, like the three major things.
Yeah. Hopefully not diapers.
I'm sure a commercial drain.